has burned out. We're going to separate them, relight the engines, and continue on our way. We will skip ahead to next momentous moment, which is, of course, the separation of the next stage, which happens now. I find that just waiting like this until the stages are cleared in the rocket gives a very good margin for success. Gives a very good success rate and eliminates the need of separatrons. Now, this gives us time to explore the payload a little bit. The main chunk of payload is the 11,000 rocket-powered canister here. Attached are some fuel tanks to carry fuel, and for this special mission I've attached some substrate containers so that the space station can start producing its own food. Now let's have a quick peek at the map view how things are going. We are, well, en route to meet the future. And the burn from these two main cells and this one skipper will be quite long from now, so I'm going to skip that out. See you in space and orbit. Right on, bit of a sudden jump, but we are one orbit further along in time and approaching the target station, which is of course the future. Now, this booster is designed in such a way that the main booster has to get the vehicle, which only has RCS, in docking range of the station. Now, obviously this is a quite heavy payload. Fortunately, I did put on plenty of reaction control fuel, so we can just use that system to get near the target. Now, I kind of want to zero out my relative velocity, which is at 155 meters per second. But I need to change the attitude of the ship here. Now, the closest approach of this rendezvous is about 14 kilometers, so I've got a few more seconds to do that. No idea what this is, probably a piece of debris of something, or an alien. But we are crowding the equatorial orbit to such a degree that we're now occasionally encountering different things. This can also be the surprise. Anyway, it doesn't matter, we are now aligned to catch up with the future. Let's do so. Now we are close enough that I could perform the rest of the rendezvous with RCS and lots of patience, but I would not prefer to do so. So we're going to zero the velocity and then apply a medium speed boost towards the station. For the simple reason that I don't have that much fuel remaining. Actually a very low amount of fuel. So let's perform set boost now. Let's go for 30 meters per second. I think that's sufficient. That burned not quite half of the fuel. Let's basically time warp forwards and see what happens then. We're approaching, but of course we're not that far away from Kerbin, so the local curvature of space is definitely a factor. We probably have to go and adjust our course a bit. How are we doing on RCS? Go away, build list, I don't want you. I want RCS to read out. Monopropellant 630 of 750, so it's not infinite, but so far we're fine. Of course it's not infinite. So which way are we drifting? We're drifting quite a bit. So I want to gas it in this direction. Alright, we're almost out of gas now. May want to save... Oh wait, we're not quite out of gas. I can transfer a bit from these tanks, but I don't really want to. Let's see how close we can get on this pass. And then if it's closer than... if it's like 2 kilometers, we'll do the rest on RCS. We'll be able to do that. Let's see, this is 4 kilometers. And we still have a fairly high relative velocity as well, so we're gonna just use up the extra fuel if we have to. And then for some next episode I will design a heavier, more efficient launcher, because this is already last generation technology. I just had this design laying around and I kind of wanted to use it, so Let's see, let's time warp to that 4 kilometer mark. Let's see, 4 point something it was. How are we doing on sunlight? I think that's about gone. That's not great. Yeah, no sun, no sun. That's not great. That's a pity actually. Oh well, we'll have to do it in the dark on the instruments, we can do that. Also the space station has lights on it now, that's a good thing. Alright, we're out of fuel, so we're going to transfer some fuel. And we're not going to use all of this, of course, all this fuel of course, but I just want to balance the ship, so we're going to transfer in lots and lots. Alright, let's zero out the velocity now. At least we now have maneuvering room to just make it. Also the rendezvous was quite Delta V efficient actually, I wasn't being frivolous. So this kind of means that this launcher is a little bit too weak to deliver the payload. Or I would have to have been a lot more efficient still, which is of course possible, but then you're spending hours and hours rendezvousing with Delta V, with speed differences in the single digits of meters per second, which isn't very nice. Alright, approaching that target at 15 meters per second. Well, I want a bit more than that. Also the RCS fuel that's being spent just keeping this on course is getting to be ridiculous. I will also need some RCS to actually dock this thing. So we're going to approach and then ditch the big honk of fuel. Well, the big engine, because it's, well, as I said, it's starting to be ridiculous. Alright, I'll just let it drift right now without expending any extra RCS fuel. And I may cheat a little bit by initiating time warp to arrest this rotation. That is cheating. But several other mechanisms make the game harder than it should maximally need to be. I'm just filling time here. I will approach the station now. We are 1,000 meters away. We are going to take this slow because, well, surprise surprise, it is quite important from which way we approach, because this thing, it won't fit on every docking port. This is going to be a relatively tough docking. Alright, I'm going to try and make 0 velocity here. Actually 1.4 meters per second is just fine. And now to transfer the fuel back into the empty tanks. And I want to try and do it half-half, because that way I won't unbalance the ship too much. A little bit of unbalancing is inevitable because I don't have any automated fuel balancing mods. They do exist, and they would be nice to have, but I don't have them. Anyway, I think this balance is close enough really. It's 293 and 238. So yeah, not perfect, but pretty good. Alright, let's say goodbye to this engine. That's gonna pass by the station, but still it will orbit fairly closely as junk. But there's nothing to be done about that. Alright, can we already target individual docking ports? I don't think so, but we can control this thing from here. Let's RCS away from the debris. Let's try and turn around to face our future. I'm going to try and do it slowly and deliberately, because I really want to get it right the first time, so as to, one, conserve RCS fuel, and, well, not spend a long time frustratingly attempting to dock. I'm using lateral translation now to align the prograde vector with the target, which colloquially means you're headed right for it. And we are headed right for it at 1 meter per second. That's not fast enough. Let's accelerate that to, say, 2.5 meters per second. Because hey, you guessed it, this thing is quite massive for a few teensy tiny RCS thrusters to shift. Now this is a disposable station module. There's no docking port on the bottom here, so we cannot continue building from it. But we can attach it, use its stuff, and then chuck it away once we're done. Essentially, these fuel tanks will allow, once some more ships are built, these fuel tanks will allow will allow the big orange tank on the bottom of the station to drain into these, and then we can ditch that orange tank, and then we can attach a proper station module with, say, like 8 orange fuel tanks that will be manufactured here in orbit, empty of course, and corresponding docking ports, and then we can chuck these single-use canisters down back to Kerbin. For now, this thing of course carries the parts for the first expansion module, which will have the docking ports and the hydroponics bay. Let's see, we are now approaching. We are approaching, I think, from the front, but it's not quite ideal. We need to shift a little bit to the middle. Let's see about that. I think at about 100 meters away I'm gonna slow to a relative stop, and then also control the station for a bit and angle that to an appropriate angle for docking, because we can of course control both these things, which we should use to our advantage. And if I approach to 100 meters distance and then start braking, I will come to a stop about 80 meters away, which ought to be fine. RCS fuel is draining faster than I at first anticipated, but I still project that we will be perfectly able to, well, to dock without any problems. And if we would encounter any problems, we can always grab this tug, load it up with fuel, and then grab onto here and pump it full of new fuel. So that's the value of having a orbital tug has now been firmly established once again. Let's see. Yeah, let's slow down. Now we're gonna have to fly past the station a bit, if we cannot angle the station. Alright, 0.7, 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.1. That's near enough stationary. Now let's switch to the station. Let's see, can we visually make out the thing? Yeah, the progress X. Set as a target. Well done. We want it... Where do we want it? I think we want it here. Which means these solar panels are gonna have to... Why can I not retract these solar panels? I can retract these, but not these. Oh well, do we have any less exposed docking ports? Well, we have docking ports here, but then these are not very nicely placed regarding those. No, it's gonna have to be this one. And of course, it is now becoming very apparent that we sorely need the we need the expansion module. Jesus, it's really hard talking if you hadn't noticed yet. We need the expansion module so that we can, well, fix these kind of problems with more docking ports. Also, I'm trying to rotate the station, but I really don't quite have a grip on what the controls do. This seems to go the right way here. It's this docking port which I want to be facing towards the Progress X, which I think is sort of happening now. Yeah, it is happening. Look at the nav ball. I hope you guys enjoy these kind of protracted docking exercises. Do leave a comment on whether or not you think this is boring. It's quite a nice puzzle to play these sequences, but I can imagine you want to be seeing more rocket building, exploring, and these kind of things. Anyway, here we are. We're almost completely doing the maneuver. We have a lot of Palantir here on the station, so I can just leave that with SAS on. Switch back to this bit, control from here, and I want to plug that in there. RCS on, and we're just gonna approach that, and I hope that the guys on the station can keep it stationary, because right now it's not really appearing to be so stationary. Let's see, that one. Punch it. I'm gonna accelerate to a full meter per second. And then decelerate once we get close. Pedal to the metal, as they call it in space jargon. Right. Sort of dead set on the target. It's 100 meters away. It's only wobbling slightly. Oh, I can accelerate more. We're at 0.4 now. Boom, 1 meter per second. Our RCS fuel is more than half depleted, but that doesn't really matter. The station is oscillating back and forth. I'm not completely happy with that. But it's only oscillating slightly, and it's oscillating pretty much along the axis of this thing. I have a feeling I can do some time warp, some physical time warp. I hope things won't explode. Actually, physical time warp in the vicinity of a space station like this with many docking ports, that may be slightly dumb. So we're just gonna have to sit it out. It's about a minute at this speed until we're actually there. I could use regular time warp, but that I'm not sure. That feels like too much cheating at this point. And this is actually the last docking port that is free. I mean, I could have paid a little bit more attention to the setup of the ship, because, well, this way docking ports are very hard to reach for approaching vessels, or they should have their docking port on a boom at the front, which is incidentally exactly what the expansion module is going to have. It's going to have a big boom which will attach here, or maybe at this point, I think on this module somewhere, and then that will provide us with many more docking modules. Alright, our attitude is looking pretty good. 27 meters away. Let's start decelerating. I did something right in the design, I think, because this really feels like a freighter. And with the crates on the side, it sort of looks like a freighter. And hey, guess what? Its job is a freighter. So congrats me, I made a freighter. It is going to clip some solar panels though. There's really nothing to do about that. Alright, come on. Come on, crush those solar panels away. We've got plenty more. Grab on to the docking port. Come on, do it. Come on, grab onto the docking port, you can do it. Docking thrusters. SAS maybe? Why isn't this docking? Is it because of the stupid solar panels? Come on. I mean, switch camera angles. This should be docked, right? Okay, let's reattach. Moving away. Yeah, it's the solar panels. They are being problematic. Oh god, oh god, oh god. Okay. This SAS is on. It's keeping station. We're gonna grab an engineer Kerbal and remove those solar panels. Oh, which is an engineer? Was Bill an engineer? I think Bill was an engineer. Is he an engineer? Can we tell from here? I'm not sure. I'm just gonna approach those solar panels and disassemble them. I think this is something engineers can do. Alright. Come on, you guys, we have an emergency here. Scrap part. Whoa! Okay, so that happened, but... And we're not actually doing recyclables because they will fly in space. 4 units of recyclables were lost due to lack of space, but hey, it does seem that we are able to do this. I see the RCS thrusters here are firing. That makes this a very hazardous environment for Bill. I think he has successfully cleared the way for the Progress X. He will remain here for now. Progress X. Come on. Hey, I think that's immediately docked. Yeah, wonderful. Or not. No, not quite yet. So we will set the target. Come on, and now dock. Go away and dock. Control from here. Now it's just up to the magnetics. Come on, there should be enough room. Twist that space station around. The solar panels are not in the way. Come on, go ahead. Dock. Dock. I think this is working. Something is happening due to the magnetic force at least. The RCS is off. This should allow the docking ports to do their thing. Come on, glue them together. How is this hard? Is it because the freighter is too massive? Okay, let's back off slightly. Come on. Yeah, finally. That did it. That was a hard docking. Well, let's not forget Bill. Hero of the match, really. So that shows the advantages of having a manned station. We did lose some solar panel capacity, but so far power hasn't really been an issue. Let's see where we will put this guy. Let's put him back inside the shipyard. He was fine there. As far as I'm concerned, this guy earned a raise. He cleared the docking berth for much needed supplies. Boom. Boarding the station. Now let's see about disseminating these resources. Substrate in. Ooh, wow, this got a lot more substrate than is strictly necessary. Oh well, I suppose that means we're gonna keep these supply ships around for a bit. Just for a bit. Alright, and rocket parts can remain here. Propellant can remain here. And we can start emptying this orange one. We won't be able to empty it completely right away, but we will be able to start working on discontinuing that part. That of course does mean that the supply ship will be docked here a little bit longer. This doesn't really serve any immediate purpose, it's just a bunch of stuff. Cool. Very cool. Right, let's have a look at the aeroponics bay. No, we don't have an aeroponics bay yet. Doesn't matter. That just means that we need to get the expansion module, which will have the aeroponics. Let's see, show you why. This is being built, and look, we've got 10 times the parts that it actually needs. Hooray! So let's, I don't know how long this episode is running yet, but let's do one more orbital maneuvering thing. Let's go to the Space Center, finish that expansion module, and immediately attach it to the orbital shipyard. We can get cracking with the building there. That's 6 more days, so it shouldn't be long at all. 2, 1, one more day, yada yada yada. And the next episode we can start working on some contracts again, because hey, look at that, our money is gone. This expansion, this supply mission cost about 160 grand, or was it 180? Cost a bunch of money anyway, that's what I'm trying to say. Come on, yeah, I want to warp towards this event. I don't need to spend the last few minutes in real time for, I don't know, nostalgia's sake. Cool, the expansion module has been built. I don't think I've ever shown you this, so prepare to be dazzled. We shall time warp until we're in the day. Whoa, this is a strong damn light. It can illuminate the planet. Holy smokes, I don't think that's the point of these lights, but still, it's pretty cool. Gives this really kind of a bed, like a bedroom planet kind of vibe. Don't think that's supposed to happen with the lights. Maybe let's turn them off. No, let's turn them on. Let's see, we are gonna eject the expansion module here. Where do we want to attach it? Oh, that sucks because I really want to attach it here, where the supply ship is now. We can attach it here, like on the bottom of the habitat here. See, do we have any more docking ports? I would ideally have it here, but that would mean getting Kenland's special ship away a little bit. Can we do that? It has monopropellant. This is actually the best spot for it. So that means grabbing Kenland's ship and having it go here. I still can't remove these solar panels. That's very annoying. I mean, I can remove them, but I cannot really. I cannot retract them anymore. So they're one-time expanders. Although not all of them, because these I can retract. SP1L. Oh no, they're OX4L. These are SP. They are actually a different kind. Okay, so that makes sense. Yeah, let's replace Kenland's ship. Is that asking for trouble? No, I'm gonna put it here. Come on, no big deal. That's even angled away from the hydroponics bay. And I can even retract the agriculture module for during the procedure. Yeah, let's do that. Great. And then it's gonna go here. I bet you're wondering about what's gonna happen, so I'll show you. Finalize the build. And it's gonna need all the monopropellant for now. It's not gonna need any rocket parts. It's got a rocket part stuff. It's not gonna need recyclables. And it's not gonna need machinery, because this is now just a placeholder. Release! Look at that. This is the next addition to our beautiful station. We will control it from here, because this is the place where it will be docked. And what was the spot where we were gonna put it? Here. Alright, so it's clear of the hangar. Let's do a little bit of reverse thrust. So it's now stopped. Let's steer. We can do this very methodically. And I did something that I've never done before. This actually has balanced RCS thrusters. They're balanced around the center of mass, which, as you can probably see, makes it extremely controllable. This is nice. I will show you this. It is the aeroponics module. These are rocket part containers, empty of course, because we're gonna manufacture this in space. We're not gonna manufacture extra rocket parts. It has a docking port for attaching to the station, and it has 4 docking ports for visiting cargo ships, which are then nicely offset from the station, so that, well, it's a bit easier to dock, and we don't have to disassemble any solar panels whilst docking. Cool, stopped again. Adding some speed again. I feel like such an orbital engineer doing this. Slow ballet. Right. I think we are far enough away. Let's stop. Alright, a little bit more altitude, or what is this called? Like relative position? It's called going a little bit this way. No, is this the wrong direction? No, 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 no. See, it's going wrong anyway. Ooh, the lateral thrust works very well as well with these balanced thrusters. Alright, here's a tip for everyone that plays this wonderful game. Balance your RCS thrusters. Oh my god, it's so controllable. Sure, it looks large and unwieldy, but it is actually really controllable. The center of mass is somewhere here. They give you an indicator in the vehicle assembly building as well. It is supremely easy to maneuver this now. Alright, how come this is... Oh! I reconsidered, I want it at this point. Is that actually nice? Yeah, that is actually nice. No, that means I won't be able to deploy the aeroponics module. Probably. So I still want it here. Yeah. Oops. I targeted the wrong docking port visually and then got confused. Alright, how are we on fuel? I gave it all the RCS fuel, so that should be good. And it is good. Here we go. They're not completely uneventful orbital docking. We had some pilot error. Who would have guessed? Alright, that's 1 meter per second. Stopping again. This is actually a lot of fun, constructing a space station like this. I mean, this is really the benefit of a orbital shipyard as well, because this thing would have been a pain in the butt to launch, like actually horrible. But now, I just build it on orbit and everything is fine. Alright, let's look at rotating this so it's aesthetically pleasing. Let's see, did I forget any really important things? I don't think so. I am aligned with the docking port. A little bit slower maybe. Some last minute rotations which are causing me to lose the dock. Boom, there we have it. Space station officially expanded. Look at that, and these docking ports should be a lot easier to reach. No solar panels in the way. Rocket parts, containers, supplies. It does add a lot of wobble, but hopefully not forever. Right, let's do stuff now. Let's first re-expand the inflatable module. See, that still fits. Wonderful. And let's activate the greenhouse. Missing machinery. Well, we can put some machinery in here. Missing mulch. I think it will make mulch automatically. Mulch is waste, is it not? Start cultivator. Ooh, the cultivator is doing stuff. Yes. Stop the greenhouse. Screw the greenhouse. The cultivator is at 1% load. This means it is doing something, but not a lot. It is, I'm not sure what it is actually doing. Are we now... We are now no, we're making electricity. We are consuming organics. And that means we're making supplies. Somehow. Maybe. Yeah, we have the Kerbin here. I think we have to put a Kerbal in this thing as well. Let's see, is there a Kerbal in here in the habitat? I think so. The greenhouse. Organics are being used. That's good. That just means supplies are being made, I think. The habitat does that. Then here we have, let's just start the greenhouse as well. Mulch will happen automatically, I think. I may need to make an actual bin for the mulch, because I think mulch is this Kerbal waste. But alright. Let's actually put a Kerbal in. Let's put Bob, whoever he is. Let's put him in the aeroponics bay. Bob, you have been rechristened as a space gardener. Space gardener. That's pretty cool if you ask me. Also, if you ask me, and I'm not sure why you wouldn't, this station is starting to be really cool. It's got a shuttle, it's got a shipyard, it's got a docking truss, and it's got a greenhouse, which may or may not work, but we'll figure that out eventually. Yes. Oh no, Bill, come on. Be careful, you fool. Grab it. Yes, and board it. Cool. Great. Now this looks like a budding center of space industrialism, don't you think? I think so. Magnificent. And look at that, we have so many rocket parts up here now. We have 10,800 rocket parts. That means we can build interesting stuff here in space. For now though, this episode has been running very long. Episode 42, a monumental number. We will certainly do something interesting, TM. I don't know quite what yet. I mean, we have Bob and Gilly, fairly obvious. These things are en route, or at least existing. We have visual surveys of the moon. I might try and design something that can actually properly do this. And we have here some tourists that need to go to Duna. This is what? This is all fairly specific. A satellite in a specific orbit around the pole, also fairly tough. Although this is, if we can make something small and efficient, we can now build that easily. A VIP, which needs to go just one bit, but it's really cheap. A test over Minmus. Oh my god, this is really quite not a lot. Tundra orbit around Jewel. Well, we'll worry about this for later. If the contracts dry up and we don't have any money, we may have to, I don't know, sell our sisters. But for now, check out next episode in the future. I'm Lorenzo. Thanks for watching. Goodbye. Ciao.